Welcome. Thank you so much for being here, Paula, Roberta. Okay, we have a couple more people joining now. So we're continuing with our sessions on Pictures and Multimodal Communication is the focus today. And this is going to be the workshop part of the training that we did last week. So we will get started with the going through our learning goals very quickly. And I hope you've had a chance to watch the video or plan to watch it, but we'll do a very quick refresher about the best practices that we talked about last week. Then we're going to play a memory game to show ourselves some of the impact of having pictures in text. And then the meat of the time today, I'd want to spend on showing you some resources for getting images. We talked about the importance and how the research actually backs that it helps with attention, comprehension, and even eventually adherence. But where do you get images? So that's where we'll talk about. And then we'll do an activity, as always, to actually put what you've learned in practice, okay? And do feel free to please interject with questions or thoughts. So these are the goals for our, well, now 50 minutes together. You're going to play this memory game, and then we're going to look at the practical sources for pictures, and then work on turning the text-heavy message into an engaging message. Oops. All right. So this is just a quick refresher of the best practice that we looked at last week. When it comes to using pictures in health communications, what should you actually do, right? This is now the doing part because we talked a lot about why it was important last week. And if you haven't, please do watch that video. The first of these 5 core tips is think visually. Whatever it is that you're doing, look for ways in which to use pictures to support the message. There's evidence that it makes a difference. And then second, you want to keep it simple. Use the simplest image that makes the point. Always support that image with text or spoken word because even images can be interpreted very differently, right? And then you want to use images that reflect the culture. You want to use images that are familiar to the audience because it helps with actually even the attention part of it. People may be put off if the image is not appropriate. And then finally, you want to co-create or test the image that you choose with the audience. So that's a super fast recap of what we went through last week. And the hope is that you spend some more time with the material last week. Now, let's get ready for the group activity. All right, so this first part, and I am interested to see how this works for you. So here are the instructions. First, the goal is we're going to play this game to see for yourself how visuals impact your own attention. We're playing 3 rounds, and in each round, the steps are the same. I'll show you a screen, and you get to look at the screen for 15 seconds, right? This is not quite what happens always, but think about how much time you give to things you glance at. So you'll see a set of 10 items for 15 seconds. Then the screen will go blank. And what you do is write from memory as many of the items as you remember. The order doesn't matter at all, just as many as you remember. After about half a minute or so, let's assume you won't remember anymore because it doesn't take that long to write. And then we'll check the answers against what was on the screen. So is that fair? Are the instructions clear? Let me just set a timer here. Okay. Teresa, did you want to say anything?
Hi, sorry I signed on late.
Oh, no worries.
Oh, no, I don't have any questions. I was just
Okay.
making sure my mic worked. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you very much. All right, so let's do the first round, round A, and starting now. Okay, that was 15 seconds. So now please write down as many of the words as you remember. Welcome, Anna. We are here. We're in the middle of playing a memory game. That's why the screen is black. Okay, let's pause. So Anna, you missed the first round of the game, but the goal is you get to see the screen for 15 seconds, and then you had a bit amount of time to write down the words that you remember. So Alberta, Paula, Teresa, how many, looking at the answers now, how many of these did you get right?
I got six, doctor, and they were the first six, or I went across in the row and got one on the bottom row. So I got six altogether.
That's very impressive that you got six. Teresa, how many did you get?
Well, I just counted the words. I noticed it was 10 words, and I got the ones that stood out for me, such as run, apple, and dog.
So that's three. That's a little bit more typical. And Alberta, how many did you get?
I got 8.
Whoa, you guys.
Because I
Good
did a
job, Alberta.
word association,
Okay.
apple, running after dog, and then throwing a stone and hit the butter, and then I
Okay.
seen the cloud and continent.
Okay. So
Good
so
job.
Alberta and Paula, you're not the typical people who get to see messages. So I can already tell that your results are not going to be typical, right? But let's go and play the next round. So Anna, please join in now. What we're doing is you'll see the words on the screen for 15 seconds, and then you have 30 seconds to write down as many as you remember. Okay. So that was round A, right? And now let's play B. 15 seconds. Okay, and that's it. Now please write down as many as you remember. Okay. I suspect whatever you remember, you'd have remembered by now. So let's look back and see how many you remembered.
I'm kind of stuck on six, doctor.
That is still very impressive that you remembered six. Okay, so for you, the words or the picture made no difference.
Right. But with the pictures, in terms of like what Alberta was saying, I associated like swimming under the sun with the mountains in the background. So yeah, the
Okay,
pictures were helpful, that's for sure.
you're right.
I
Um,
used I used Alberta's analogy too, and I I actually got 10 symbols.
what? Okay, so
Yes, this time.
all
So
right.
the pictures
So
really helped me.
Yay! Good
yeah, so
job, Lisa.
let's just so Anna, please go ahead.
I wanted to say that I use that all the time as well. And from a medical perspective, what you're doing is you're shifting from your left brain to your right brain when you tell a story with the words. you're relying on your right side of your brain for that. And that's something that we help with stroke patients when they've been affected on the left. We try to encourage and build their memory by teaching them that game. And it helps improve their memory by telling the story like that. So good job, everybody, for figuring that out on your own.
But I also want to point out that your skill at doing this is not typical, right? Most of the population that we will be looking to serve may not have that information about how to do the connections. So you are playing this at a level that is actually not going to make the point, I think. Alberta, how many did you get this time?
I actually only got 6. That was interesting.
Okay. So it's interesting. I mean, every time you play this,
I
it's
got
different.
I got overwhelmed.
Yeah. Okay, so this was round B. Now let's go to the final round. Again, we will have 15 seconds. All right, starting now. Okay. So now just write down as many as you remember. Okay, ready? That should be about 30 seconds. I forgot to click the start, so this may be more than 30 seconds that you got here. Okay, so let's see. How many did you get now?
I got another one, so I got 7 this time.
Okay. So you went from 6 to 7.
Yes.
Okay. That's the direction we would expect. Anna, what happened with you?
I went down. The one prior I had 7, and this time I
8.
only did 5.
Okay. It's interesting how people respond to the different combinations. Alberta, what happened for you?
I went up to 9.
Okay.
Wow.
Ooh, good job.
It's amazing in 15 seconds. So the now you probably know what this game was about. The main differences between the rounds was that A was just words, B was just pictures, and C was both words and pictures, right? And since we've already talked about it, we can do this discussion here around how many you recalled. The general thing that happens for people is that they tend to remember more when it is both words and pictures, because sometimes for some people they are looking more at the words, or they're looking more at the pictures. So it's like you get a chance to pick and choose what you want. But as you saw, some of you also were overwhelmed by the amount of information, right? When it was a combination.
BB, I went from 10 to 7 because I was busy looking at the words instead of the pictures.
Right, right. And that is one of the learnings. And this is why it goes back to like keep the picture the simplest that it can be. Because for sometimes it's actually too distracting, right? Sometimes it does help, but it's distracting in other cases. In any case, I think we still got a sense that the combination of the words and the pictures allowed us to not misinterpret, right? I mean, this looks like a snowflake, but somebody could have said it was a cobweb, you know? It's the combination of the words and the pictures that make clear what the intention is. So that was just a little sort of demonstration to ourselves about how pictures can impact what people remember. I should say that your scores right off the bat, the 6 and 7 of just the words was abnormally high. So we probably did not show the general progression, adding pictures and then words as typical, but you'd have to take the research for it that mostly that's what happens with people. So just another point, we do want to add in the combination of pictures and words. Now let's talk about where to get the visuals. So this is a place where I would like you to open the deck that I've shared with you, because I'm going to click on these links to go there. And during this demonstration, I'd like you to go along with me, right? So if you don't have the deck handy, let me know and I will share it with you. But let me get out of display mode, right? There are many resources. I've picked a couple that are a good starting source if you're looking for free pictures, right? And we appreciate very much the content creators who do this, but sometimes you need to use free. There's attribution-free visuals. They are free really to use because people are trying to build up their portfolios. So you can get illustrations, photos, videos, GIFs. Whilst the attribution is not required, it is appreciated by the people who have made it. So just know that we will go through each of these resources. There's also then free resources, but the attribution is required. And if you don't want to make the attribution, you need to pay a subscription, right? But it's good to know because sometimes you need to look at multiple places. And then there are these tool-based visuals that you can access through the software that you either have a subscription to or you've signed up for. We'll talk about those. And then there's also generating visuals for your own use, specific and custom to what you want. And I'll do a demonstration using ChatGPT to show you how you can do that. It's very powerful to be able to get the visual exactly the way you want it, okay? So I can't see you, but please flag if you haven't yet opened the 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 deck and you don't have access to the links yet, because I'd like us to go there together just to get a feel. Actually, let me ask, are you familiar with these resources, or which resources do you usually use to get visuals? Teresa, you came?
Yeah, I was going to say Canva.
Okay, Canva, all
I've
right.
used Canva
Yeah.
before. And are you talking about the slides from July 15th that you sent?
Yes, Tuesday,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, I have them.
So you should have this page in here. And the logos are clickable. Alberta, do you have access to the slides also? Just want to make sure.
I'm looking. I'm looking.
Okay.
What was the date?
It was Tuesday. Let me just send you
Okay.
again.
Thank you. I
I
was,
will do that.
July 15th.
Yes. Okay, rather than pull individual names, I'll just send to the whole team. So people may wonder why I'm sending the deck again, but that's just fine.
There's another meeting going on, baby. It's the Public Health Council meeting. So that's probably where others are.
Okay. Well, we are recording this, so. Okay, that should be coming your way right now. Okay, so whilst you are pulling that up, I will start with the demonstration and then you can see the sites when you get link. Or you can type in. Some of these are really easy. So let's start with the attribution-free visual sites. So let's go to pixabay.com. And I just wanted to show you this because sometimes there's logins, joins, but you don't necessarily have to, right? And remember, we are looking for the simplest images. So I tend to go to it, click on illustration, and let's say we want, what should we search for? Let me search for something simple like
Okay.
heart. Okay, wait, did you have a word, Alberta? What should we
Not
search?
yet.
Oh, heart is always
With that Pixabay, the IHS in our region blocks it.
okay. Well, that
So
is it.
I was
yeah,
able to
I'll
get
try
in.
it.
So you're in different regions. Okay, I think this is why we have a couple, and hopefully there's some that you find that is not blocked in your region. But so you see there's many illustrations for hearts. Let's also look for tree. And all of these are attribution free. You can make more filter choices, and some of these are way too complex. Remember how we need it to be the simplest that we just makes the point. So that's for Pixabay. And we look now, I see Megan and Emily, you just joined. We're looking at the deck and clicking through the links to look at the resources where you can get free, attribution free and free visuals, right? Another source that I found to be powerful is Unsplash. And again, you can choose the type of image that you want. You see that there are many. Let's just do the same thing across and see heart illustrations, right? Potentially for some use cases, you want a photo, but remember that the guidance is to use the simplest picture that makes the point.
That
Oh,
one
wait.
was blocked for me.
Me too.
That one was blocked for you. A different one, or was it the same?
No,
No,
I was able to get into Pixabay, but not Unsplash.
Unsplash. Okay. Well, I guess we see the importance to have multiple. But
Yeah.
yeah, look at these. Well, photos, sometimes photos help because they have the burst of color, but depending on how complex the message is, you actually probably want the picture to be inverse to the complexity of the message. If the message is very complex, you don't want to distract with photos as we saw, right? And now let's try pixels and see. Again, often you can select what type. I'm going to do heart and see. Okay, so again, some free images. These are attribution free. Oh, this one is nice and simple, even though it's a photo. Somewhat simple. So I hope that you will keep this page handy, and then at least you'll be able to find resources. So now this resource from the CDC it was not working last week when I looked at it, but let's see if it has. It was crashing. Oh, okay. There are some pictures. As you can see, these ones tend to be more clinical, right? This is what came up for heart. That's interesting. Maybe it's blood. Oh,
Okay, Petri dish.
yeah.
Looks like.
Yeah. So the general trend on the fill is that it tends to be more sort of serious pictures, right? So if you go ahead.
So, doctor, these are free for us to use.
Yes, the CDC
Okay,
puts them
cool.
out. Yeah, it's called Public Health Image Library.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see what comes with illustrations only. Oh, these are still, yeah. So these fill pictures, now was everyone able to get to fill? Because that's a CDC site. I would hope that everyone could get to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, yes. But as you can see, I'm not sure how much attention you're going to attract with low magnification morphology of colonies of bacterium. So you probably need some of these other sources, right, for the messages. Let's move on to this one called the noun project. They require you to attribute. Yeah, they require you to attribute. So the test that we're doing here was we did heart. So let's look at heart again on the noun project. Oh, I like these for their simplicity. So as you can see, each of those sources seems to have a feel almost for the type of that they put there. Even this stylized, realistic heart. Okay. So it's Paula, were you saying something?
No,
Okay.
I'm gonna mute.
Oh, no worries. Who just joined? I'm sorry, I can't tell from your number showing.
I believe it's Charlotte.
Okay, Charlotte, welcome, and we're looking at the deck and clicking into the resources here, just so you can get a feel of it, right? Of where to get resources, images and visual. Some of them might even have videos and such. Let's move on so that we have time to do the activity also, right? So now let's look at these two ones. I believe that Canva is quite popular. Is everyone familiar with Canva? You know what? Let's just take a visit to Canva. Hopefully Canva is not blocked. But I think you sign up and then you have an account and you have more images. So Canva also has some. They even have templates. They even have templates. But yes, the Canva image library is very broad. Okay. And how to get to the image library is you generally start making whatever it is that you're creating. And then let me just say presentation. So this is a real huge crash course, but I just wanted to show you how you get to the image library. Another tip is whenever you are stuck on any of these solutions, go to YouTube and type how to do XYZ, and somebody has very helpfully put a video there. So that's it for Canva. Let me close out. And of course, PowerPoint. PowerPoint has been helping make presentations not wholly boring for eons. So in PowerPoint, what you do is you go to the icons and you can insert icons. PowerPoint is actually now also expanding its, I would say, type of images. They're including illustrations, they're including videos, because now you see that all of these various solutions have images and people expect it. But with PowerPoint, I particularly love the icons just because they are so simple. The variety is not quite as broad, but PowerPoint is always good to have access to, right? And then, of course, Google Slides. You will find that if you are, actually, let me see if I linked this. No, I didn't link it. In Google Slides, the interface is very much like PowerPoint. So you can find the icons much like you will do in PowerPoint. I think Google Slides would be one that you're familiar with, so let me not spend time showing that one. And now, go ahead.
You're teaching me all kinds of things I had no idea about, BB.
Oh, really? Well, then let's go through it. My
Am I
bad.
the only one that didn't know?
So in Google Slides, make new what we want is Google Slides. And when you're making the slides in Google Slides too, it's like in the PowerPoint, you can come and click insert, and then this is where you get They also have images, an image library. Let's see.
Thank you.
Stock and web, there's an image library. So let's look for heart again, just to see what they come up with. Yeah, they have GIFs and stickers. Oh, I like this one. It's a happy heart. Okay, so this suggests strong heart. All right. Okay, so let's go to the next, which is Chat GPT. Any questions on these categories yet? Okay. And I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time on here, but I just wanted to show you, if for nothing else, making the image the way that you want it. So to go to ChatGPT, you'll need to have an account, right? Create an account. I already have an account. So because we are running a little bit short on time, I'm actually going to do part of the exercise that we're doing next for you in ChatGPT. Pretty much the next exercise is we're going to change this text heavy thing into something with visuals, right? So I'm going to take the first step. I'm going to take the first step here and show you how we would create an image. So we've seen all these other resources. Let's say you want to show something about washing with soap and water, right? The hydrogen peroxide solution might be a bit much for people to read. But let's say the way I want to incorporate a visual in this first point is to show soap and water. So you come to ChatGPT, you literally chat with it and you say what you want to do. So I'm going to do this on the fly so you see it. Let's see how it goes. I want to create an image that shows soap with bubbles coming from it. I want it to give the sense of cleaning and washing part of your body. That's it. And then we click and see what Chatty does. For me, this is mind blowing that you can get an image created from describing it. And then I should have even added in something like, I want the text that says, wash the wound with soap and water. Okay, so this is live. Let's see what it comes up with. Now, do you have access to, it doesn't have to be ChatGPT, there's other ones, Claude, even
We're blocked from Chat GPT.
Oh no, entirely, all of you.
I usually use it, like I have a personal account set up, so whatever content I get, I usually just copy paste into an email for work.
Okay, okay. So whilst it's generating the picture, but the power of having a way to customize your visual is it saves time, because maybe instead of searching across 7 platforms to see, oh, okay, so I wasn't clear. You see, this is the thing about images. I wasn't clear enough. I want it to be a simple black and white line drawing. So I'll say refine this to make a simple black and white line drawing, not a photo, cartoon drawing.
You have a typo.
And that's the thing, it doesn't matter for ChatGPT. It figures it out. Right? So that is just a demonstration of the various ways in which you can get images. So we had originally, I wanted us to spend 25 minutes on this, but we now have 20 minutes. Let me see if the image has been created. Let me explain to you the next part, and actually the remaining part of our time whilst the image is being created. We have this text-only message. I'm going to put you in, let me see how many of us we have, probably 2 breakout rooms. And in the room, you decide what images you want to put in to make turn this into something with visuals. So admittedly, we don't have all the full 25 minutes. So I'm going to put the text in the chat for you, so you don't have to type the text. Once you get into the breakout room, choose who's going to be the team artist. If you have someone who uses Canva or PowerPoint or something. And this turning this much of text into something with visuals probably takes hours to do it well. So please don't be discouraged that you don't finish or get very far. I just want to give you a sense of how you think about seeing these instructions. They seem like decent instructions. How would you go about putting text in, images in it to enrich it? How would you go about getting people's attention? Okay, so now we see what happened. This is what chat's changed it to. So for me, this evokes wash and soap. So this would be like one of the images that I would put in around the wash the wound with soap and water. Okay. Now, if I went to those resources to look for washing with soap, it may not come out as clearly as this. In fact, I can also say label the soap with the word soap on it, and it would refine the image. Okay. All right. The instructions are following. I'm going to assign you to a breakout room. Choose your team artist. That's the person who's actually going to do your presentation as a team. Now let's cut it down to 15 minutes because that's about how much time we have. These instructions here are the ones that you're going to change into something that is visually enhanced. And remember, to do this takes a lot of time. So we are just going to scratch the surface. How would you, or which images will you think of putting in around these points here? And that's the exercise. Okay. Is that exercise clear?
Phoebe, can you repeat that one more time? Sorry.
Okay. You're going to go out into your breakout rooms. There'll be 2 breakout rooms because we don't have that many people on live. Choose one person to be your team artist. That is somebody who will actually pull up a document, cut and paste the text that I've put in the chat there, and then you guys discuss as a team what images you should put in. Or you know what, if we are, okay, there's 9 of us, what would you suggest? Do we do this as a big group, or do you think you have a better chance as in small teams?
As a big group, I think.
Okay,
so tiny.
because today we didn't start quite on time, so we are rushing a little bit. Okay, I will be the team artist then. How about that?
Yay. Great. Yay.
Okay, so these are our instructions that we need to put in. Actually, let me put a new slide that is just all clear. And I'm using PowerPoint. We could have used anything. So this is the text that needs to be there. You can imagine handing somebody this text. Do we have a lot of hope that we will get attention on this? I can just answer that and say, not really, right? So what would you suggest that we add in here? I am going to now, yeah.
Bibi, I remember there was one slide in one of the presentations where you had the clock, and I think the imagery of, maybe like showing the twice a day, or like a calendar,
Yeah. And we probably can even put a specific time because, sometimes people will put something off. I actually like the noun project. Let's go and look for clock from the noun project and see. So Okay, you wouldn't do it 3 in the morning. Let's say you do it once in the morning, and to show morning, we can put a sun, for instance.
Yeah.
So you would let me, so this is one of the places where being able to create your custom visual is so powerful. I'm looking for a clock that shows about 8 a.m. in the morning, but I don't see it, right? This is one of the challenges. So I could be here for quite a while, looking for a clock. This, I hope this is not terrible here, but if we're going to attribute it, we could just take this clock here, and then I could draw in a different arm to show 8 a.m. But I tend to like the ease of doing things in ChatGPT. So I'm just going to say, in a similar style, draw a clock that shows 8 a.m. in the morning. What else, team, about putting, somebody's giggling. What's the giggle? Is that a good giggle?
Well,
What's
I
the
was
giggle?
thinking, you
Uh-huh.
know, kind of some of the pieces that you'd add to the picture and then change the dressing if it gets wet. You know, I was kind of thinking taking a preventative tact and maybe showing a wet dressing and then a circle around it with a slash, like don't get the dressing wet.
Oh, yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Unless you'd want it more specific in the change if gets wet. I don't know.
No, that's it. Anything. And by the way, this is one of the powers of the AI, and also one of the failures. This is not 8 a.m., right? This is showing 10 a.m. So then you go back and say, correct the arms on the clock to point to 8 a.m. Right? But I like the idea here where we would almost put in, I'm now going to use a PowerPoint icon of no. You can search, and this was it. This is what you were thinking, right?
Oh, okay.
Something like
Yeah.
that. So
Yes.
we will put in the no, and then we need to find the image that we want, and then we put the cross, this no cross around it. But this is the point I was making around, there are many ways to do this, and the thinking of an appropriate layout, appropriate images, it takes time. So wow, this clock is, ChatGPT is suffering. Okay, you know what? Let's just change it to 9. Right. It's not perfect at all, right? So let's see if we can find icon for wet in PowerPoint. Hmm.
I like the water drop.
This one, just this one. Oh, right. Because then it's a simple
Oh,
water
yeah.
drop crossed out. And it shows us, okay, and we can use color here to make the difference. Let me make this one red, and then we make the water drop blue.
Blue. Okay.
And actually, let's change this graphic to be a fuller water drop, because I feel like that is more clear than the empty one. So they do have a fuller water drop here. So it's essentially, this is the, and we probably want the cross to come to the front, right? So there.
There you go.
So we don't want it. And let's see if it's finally gotten the time. Alas, we have gotten the time. We can copy the image and then put it there. And then for the twice a day too, we can put in something around sun and like moon to show the time passing, right? So twice a day we have 9 a.m. Going to put in sun. PowerPoint does have a good number of icons. So let's just pick this sun, and then let's look for moon. Not a dramatic moon, a simple moon. So we can put our twice a day in a way that we want to do it. Actually, I should have not had it written 9 a.m. And then that way I could have just
Said 9 o'clock and then.
use the
put
same
sun
one.
and moon.
And of course, you know this little trick where you can cover things with shapes. So I'm just going to cover that with a white shape. And then
BB, I'm sorry, can you show me again where you're finding all of these at? Can you click on that again?
in PowerPoint, insert, we go to icons,
Okay,
right?
gotcha, thank you.
And then you can choose here. And then for the shapes, you can come to, actually, it's shapes is in home, the home
Yeah,
tab.
I've used that one.
Yeah. So this, as you can see, we are still far away from this being something finished that we can show to anybody. But at least we are getting the idea that we can use images, right? So dressing changes, we have twice a day, 9 in the morning, 9 in the evening is assuming people stay up quite late, but we could make another clock and put here, for instance, different time, right? And then we can actually, I'm just grouping these things here so that it's a little bit, tidy. So imagine that this is a handout. This suggests 9 in the morning, 9 in the evening. Wash the wound with soap, right? So even getting the attention that you are washing with soap, this hydrogen peroxide using cotton swabs or clean pads could be another thing that you put an image about. And then even the title, dressing changes, you could put something around something to show it's a bandage or what do you call that? Like one of those wraparound things. We could, let's see what we have here for wound. I don't think PowerPoint has anything for wound. Oh, it does have the bandage, but this is not quite enough for the wounds, the types of wounds that we are expecting, right? So this is very, very fast, I know, but you can have, let me see this wound. You can add images to any message. Oh, as you can see, this could be a wound. Oh, dressing changes, right? This could be. Okay, so let me just, oh, Teresa shared a picture here, a link here. Let's see.
Yes, it
This
was
would be-
just pictures to some IHS photos, like landscape and stuff.
Okay.
So maybe you could add to your resources on the
Okay.
other slide.
This is wonderful. Yes, I wasn't familiar with this. Is everyone familiar with this?
No.
Thank you very much. So you can click in and then there's more.
Like if you click the feathers on top and then there's landscape.
Thanks, Teresa.
Yeah. And there's some cultural.
Yeah, that's
maybe.
probably where the
Yeah.
landscape is at.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the
So there are
bottom,
some-
landscapes.
Yeah, there's some good, and it seems like these would be attribution free as well. Okay. So this is within IHS itself. Think of this, add this
Yes,
to the
this is
list.
the IHS link.
Yeah, add this to the list here. So we have 2 minutes. Let's round up and make sure that we finish on time. There's, as usual, a very quick evaluation link that I would appreciate if you can fill. I'm going to put this in the chat for you as well. But thank you very much. Next month is our last month. Let me just remind you, please do look at the videos so that you are very well placed to get the participation certificate at the end of our next 2 sessions, final sessions.